Hello guys, here is a Heritage Lanchester 42-inch ceiling fan. Let's take a look at the information tag for you guys. This is a 42-inch ceiling fan, Lanchester series. This is rated for 0.6 amps, fan only. 2.5 amps with light, which is baloney. This was made in China back in September of 1993. So I got this fan from a Facebook listing. This was $10. There were two other fans with it. Those were also $10, and it was $30 in total. So $10 I thought was a pretty good deal for one of these things. This fan here, I would say, is in okay condition. I mean, the brass and stuff, it's still pretty shiny. I mean, yes, it's not in the greatest of condition. It's certainly a little bit tarnished, but this is going to be 33 years old this year, so you shouldn't expect perfect when something is this age. The light kit right here is not on there when I got it. This is just something that I had on another polished brass fan that didn't match. I decided to use this light on this fan, and I thought it looked really good. The light kit that came to me with was a single fitter light kit. The pull chain was broken on that, and the wiring on that one was not very good, so I decided probably not wise using that. So that light will get fixed eventually. I just have to find some time for myself to do it. And yeah, I thought this light looks pretty good. This light's from 1988, so it's 5 years older than the rest of the fan is. The fan right here did not come with a mounting bracket, nor did it come with the down rod. So the down rod that I have here came out of a Encon Crusader. The mounting bracket, I took it from the Heritage Spectre, which was on the same listing. And yeah, that's how I got to work. The blades on this thing are in really not so good condition. This blade in particular, that one is warped really bad too. The irons are also kind of bent up, but it doesn't shake horrible, so I don't see a reason to replace these. And I know that now before you guys get hysterical and say,
Heritage is such a bad fan brand. You should destroy that stupid thing.
well, let me tell you, this thing was considered an economy grade fan back in the 90s. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this was sold for $20 or even less. These were primarily sold at Kmart and also sometimes at Menards. So, and even though these are really cheap fans, this is a really important factor here because that a lot of people forget. I think this is perfectly reasonable. Now, the warping blades probably wasn't fault of the fan's quality. It probably was just the fact this was in a not so good environment. Because, I mean, this is kind of an exotic situation because there was just one blade that was warped. When I got this fan, the walnut side was down, so this blade would have been sagging down. I asked some people if there's ways to fix that problem. There are, but the solutions are not very feasible. One solution is just replace all the blades, which that would be great if there was any listings like on eBay or Amazon or Facebook that had reasonable prices. But unfortunately, there's not. Second one is that I got was maybe set it in a hot environment and just let the heat and moisture bring it down to where it's supposed to be. That's probably what I'm going to do. However, there's not really a lot of good places in my house for that, so that repair will probably have to take place whenever I move out of here, which will be in a few years from now yet. So that repair is not going to be it's not going to be done soon. So yeah, even though the blades are all messed up, I'll give it a little spin and show you guys how bad the clock is. You can see it's pretty bad. Despite that, I do think this is a pretty good performer, and it doesn't even shake all that much. So here's the light. This thing is using 11 watts. I have 4-watt LED bulbs in there. These are the vintage Sylvania DEL bulbs. I got a 4-pack at Menards for, after tax, 14 and change, which I have to do a little bit of math here. About $3.50 a bulb. I mean, these are DELs, and DEL bulbs are definitely more expensive than the incandescent bulbs, but I think those DEL bulbs are actually pretty good. Generally speaking, I don't like DEL bulbs, but these are one of the only exceptions. I can absolutely tolerate these. Plus, I like the vintage amber glow that they give out. Here's low. And also another thing about this fan is the bearings are also shot, which this fan is 33 years old, so I'm not terribly surprised. For those who are like, Casablanca is the best fan brand ever, I'll tell you, I definitely have seen Casablanca fans with bad bearings too, so quality of a product should not be a factor. This is low speed, and the fan is wobbling a little bit, yes. But I was really expecting it to be really chaotic. But it's just not chaotic. So on low, we are getting 21 watts with 0.17 amps. And for an El Cheapo, I am noticing a little bit of air coming down from this thing. I mean, this is in the corner of my bedroom, so the airflow is not gonna get properly, but you can definitely tell that airflow is there. If I stand right under the thing, I can definitely feel some air coming down. It's not a gale like a Lady Delta here, but this fan also doesn't aspire to. Here's medium. And you also gotta make a factor here. The motor on this thing is actually silent. Yes, there's noise coming from the motor, but that's not the humming sound, that's bearings. Which I might replace the bearings on this thing in the near future, but the bearing noise is actually not that loud. I think my desktop fan can actually outperform that noise. And on medium speed, we are getting 32 watts with 0.27 amps. This is medium speed, and it's pushing out pretty good air for medium speed, I think. At least for an El Cheapo like this. And now high. And look at that. It's not even wobbling all that much despite the blades being horribly out of clock. Yeah, this thing is definitely moving some air. I'd say this outperforms a Littleton. I've installed a Littleton in this part of the bedroom here, and that definitely doesn't perform very good. So, yeah. I think this thing here is actually perfectly reasonable for the price and the store that came from and the area it was made. I think this was made with reasonable quality. I mean, in terms of general quality, this thing is definitely more on the cheaper side, but I would not throw this thing out of a building. I don't know why you guys are saying, well, at least it's a Heritage 4. Because this is perfectly reasonable. It's not even that much noise coming from the motor, except for the bearing noise, which we really can't account for motor hum. So this is high speed, and the thing is it's drawing 52 watts with 0.43 amps, so it's not even drawing 0.6 amps like it said on the information tag. Yeah, I think this is perfectly reasonable. And we'll reverse it just to show you guys that works. Not that I ever used reverse. I think that's kind of a gimmicky feature. But yep, it works on reverse. And now off. Well, there you go. My 42-inch Heritage Lanchester ceiling fan. Thank you. Have a nice day.